on. Give it up for BJ Smith. Hello, Right Brain Brewery. My name is BJ Smith. I'm 46 years old. And I believe this country's gone to hell. I don't know who else is on the same page. Have you seen they're selling weed in stores legally now? I was appalled. I'm like, what do you mean you don't accept car stereos? Is it better? I don't think so. I think shit was better in the 90s. They didn't sell me weed inside a glass container, inside a plastic bag, inside a paper bag, stapled shut to the receipt. I took the same Ziploc bag to my guy for 3 years straight. Because Rico cared about the environment. Don't even feel cool buying weed. Used to feel cool, you know? Knew where to buy weed, now you just know how to use Google. That's not fucking cool. I think other shit was better in the 90s. The other drugs were better in the 90s. We used to have ecstasy that made you in love with the world. Heroin was still made out of heroin. Yeah! Back in my day, we had to OD the hard way. Uphill through the snow. Both ways. I think people knew how to take drugs better in the 90s too. Like hallucinogens. We used to take acid, mushrooms, stuff like that. We used to take it to trip, right? We'd pry open the doors of our perception, open worlds and new realities. What do they do now? Microdose. You trip? I like to microdose. Yeah, making laundry day more interesting is not the same thing. I'm sorry. You know what we used to call microdosing in the 90s? Not tripping. I'm a smoker. I miss being able to smoke in places. This country used to smoke in places, you know? And when people say things like, you know, we went to the moon once. I'm like, yeah. Remember what they were doing in Mission Control? Smoking away. Then they had the space shuttle. They banned smoking. What happened to that? We lost 2 out of 7. I'm just saying, maybe with the smooth, mellow taste of Winston, they could have Apollo 13 that shit. I don't know. You know what else was better back in the 90s? Dick pics. Yeah, they didn't fucking exist. Who was gonna take a picture of their penis and take it down to the photo map? Nobody. Your only option was Polaroid, and didn't that make it a little bit better? Because who doesn't love an individual personalized gift? Just saying. I think porn was better back in the 1990s, yeah. We still had internet porn, but nobody was addicted to it. You couldn't be. Still images were all you got. And it would just download like a couple of lines at a time. And it had other unknown progressive effects on us men. Because sometimes you might be looking at an image and be fully committed before you saw that she had a penis. And I either had to accept that that was a woman, or I had to accept that I had a gay experience. And I just wasn't prepared for that, so... I think where we went wrong as a society is when we moved away from baggy pants. Yeah! Everybody's so focused on gender and genitals now, no wonder. Everyone can see. Back in the 90s, we had Jinkos, those big fat skater pants. You know what I'm talking about? Big giant pockets. You could put like a backpack's worth of stuff in there. You could have like 12 dicks swinging around in there. No one would know. And with the good ecstasy, no one cared. I think schools have gotten weird now. They're teaching sex ed in schools. Sex ed in elementary schools. I don't want my kids learning about sex in elementary school. I want them to learn the way I did. The good old-fashioned way. from a moldy Hustler magazine they found in a 7-Eleven dumpster. That's the way God intended. They wanted to teach my second grade daughter about anal sex. Anal sex in the second grade. Second grade is not the time to learn about anal. It's after your second child. When you're trying to save your marriage, that's the time to learn about anal sex. You know what else was better back in the 90s? The president. I'm not saying that we had a better president back in the 1990s. I'm saying that our current president was better back in the 1990s when he was only in his early 60s. I mean, I love old people, but at 80, you have retired out of mandatory retirement every job in America except for running America. Trust him to run the country. I wouldn't trust him to drive himself to the doctor. The only button that guy should have his finger on is life alert. Help, I've fallen and I can't get back into the Ukrainian oil business. I think he should retire. Look, I'm not a Republican, okay? I'm just saying he should retire. He lost cocaine in the White House, okay? Listen, secret documents are one thing, but when you can't keep up with your blow, it's time to go, okay? But I'll tell you the biggest thing. I'll tell you the biggest thing I miss about the 1990s. Serial killers. Yeah. We used to have serial killers in this country. They would spend months and years learning and plying their trade, taunting the media, taunting the police. What do we get now? Mass shooters. And why? Because nobody wants to work anymore. They want everything handed to them on a silver platter. I feel like somewhere there's got to be a guy standing in front of his refrigerator full of heads going, you know who used to make things in this country? That's my time. I'm BJ Smith. Thank you guys very much.